So, if you had any advice to give to any of the younger fellas or women who are looking to go into the Marines or go into the Armed Forces, period, what would it be?
Do it, But at the same time, actually, I have a child myself, 15 years old, and I'm at that crossroads where do I need to promote for him to go to the Marine Corps or go to the Armed Forces? I think about it. Me and his mother, we talk about it. Then at the same time, I know it's different. Now it's not we could go to the back of the building and fight it out and be brothers and get back to it. Now it's more paperwork, more political. So in that aspect, you could go in the Marine Corps or any part of the Armed Forces and get out with a general discharge. Marine Corps, I bought my first house through them. I have insurance. Everything was nice. But I know a lot of guys that went in, got in the fight, drunk driving, made stupid decisions, and now they're paying for it for the rest of their life because the system kick them out. Dishonorable discharge. They can't get insurance. They can't get a house, and so that's a thin line, But if you do go and make it a career, make it. It don't have to be a career. Make it a stepping stone, because there's so many things that you could do outside. But at the end of the day, it's that part of I served. That's the title. That makes you feel good about it at the end of the day.
Well, the fact that you serve means, you got family all around you that you at all times, to be honest with you. But I've always said this since you brought up, the 15-year-old, that I feel, to me, with how the world is going right now, everybody should have served at least 4 years in the military.
Okay, I used to think that way. I think at least 2. Everybody should at least serve 2 years. Look at the other countries, how they serve people, But it's just okay. For instance, if you don't really want to be there, are you going to conduct yourself in a way that you need to be to save somebody's life?
Not really. Well, I can say that's a 50-50 split on that because, I've met some guy who didn't want to be there, but when push came to shove, they did what it needed to be done. When push came to shove. Even though they didn't want to be there, they still, matter of fact, one of the guys that saved my life, he really didn't want to be there. He was a Blue Falcon, a shitbird. But, when the crap hit the fan, he jumped in and and I have a whole new respect for him now because, he didn't act like he wanted to be there. He didn't act like he was part of the team, but I guess, when your back is against the wall and you got to make a choice,
yeah,
he made the choice.
I do, but it just politics, man.
The political aspect of it now is garbage. You know what I'm saying? I still say they need to go back to the old style of it. But, I'm talking about with this whole racial thing. This racial.
Fortunately, in my career, I served with every race you could think of.
That's the reason I said everybody needs to know this one.
Not one time have I encountered racism, but I know it's there. But I have not encountered racism in the armed forces.
I mean, I haven't encountered it in the armed forces, but I remember going through West Virginia, and I stopped to get gas. And I was going through a small town, and I stopped to get gas, and the guy at the register said, "I think you need to leave, boy." I didn't say a word because I normally fill up at half tank anyway. I said, "Psh," and rolled on. Because one me against all of them, don't get me wrong, I'm prepared for it, but it would still would have turned out good for me. So I say to fix our country's divide with the whole deal with that, yeah,
Nah, that's hard because just like you asked this question, and this sort of getting off the topic, but is racism, is it taught?
Yeah.
Or you born with it?
You're taught.
Exactly. So if you're taught and you instilled in it from birth all the way up until you get in there, what's 2 or 4 years going to change?
Yeah, okay.
Nothing, because it's taught in you. That's what you embedded.
That's true. But, you know what I'm saying, I have seen people who go in for 4. And by the time, matter of fact, after boot camp, really, that racism stuff was nowhere near no more. Because, you know what I'm saying, you know, it taught you that, you know what I'm saying, there is no color. You know what I'm saying? That uniform is the only color that matters.
You're right. I can see that. But, and like I said, not even that, if they was to do that, they need to change the standard far as this, you know, because I know a guy, 18 years old, 2 deployments. He came into boot camp at 17, Marine Corps at 17. By the age of 19, he done had 2 or 3 deployments up under his belt. But he gets MJP because he was drinking in the beers underage.
Yeah. Now,
20 years old, he drinking. They had a party, he got caught. I done served for my country. I done fought this and that, and you telling me I can't sit here and have a beer, and now I'm going to jail. Now my career and my life is gone because of one beer that I should deserve.
Now that part I agree with you.
But that's why I say it's so hard for parents to want kids really to go into the armed forces. But you know, if you go in there and do good, trust me. Like I said, the benefits of when you get out, no money down program for your houses. It's so many things out there that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thin line.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Well,
if anything like that's going to happen, anything like that, I would actually the court system to say, instead of throwing young men lives away by throwing them to prison, give them the opportunity to go to a part of the branch, military. So if they got 5 years for this or that, instead of putting them in prison, hey, go to the armed forces,
serve your 5 years,
serve your years in there, become a better person to society. You know, become a better person. And I believe that that's a difference that could be made.
I believe that. Now that's a good idea. That is a darn good idea right there. And kind of same difference. You know what I'm saying? Triple. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Instead of messing up a young kid's life,
but
them serve the country.
Yeah, I rather do that because how society, how this country's run today, we need kids to go to college. You know, it's not the same old world as it used to be. We need kids to go to college. You need your doctors. You need your technicians. You need your mechanics. You know, all the Marine Corps and Armed Forces all offer that, but still, it just, while you're going through the process, it takes time.
Yeah.
So we need the nurses out there. You know. So yes, college is an option. That's why I don't want to make it mandatory, but I think it should be mandatory if you was in the court system.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so the reason I say mandatory, they got to go straight Marines. Now I know Marines don't have medics. You know what I'm saying? Navy is the ones that come over there for y'all. But even with, you can say join the Navy, become a medic. You know what I'm saying? And go that route.
But how long does it take?
What, court school?
Yeah. From I sign my name up on that line,
mm-hmm.
I go through boot camp,
mm-hmm.
I go through court school.
Mm-hmm.
How long before I'm able to actually administrate medicine and be there with the Marines and Navy guys, corpsmen?
Court school was, let's see. Well, it'll change now. But back when I went through, court school was about 4 to 6 months. And that's where you learn the basics of it. And then you branched off to learn, you know what I'm saying, the different aspects of what you want to do.
So you're looking at 2 years?
Mm-mm. You're looking at maybe a year max.
Maybe a year. Okay. So,
but in that time, you're still serving your country.
Yeah, great, got it.
So, now, and before you can go, matter of fact, after the 6 months, you can decide whether you want to go IDC, which, with the Marines, or you want to work, you know what I'm saying, for the Navy, maybe in a hospital or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the two paths you can pick. Once you go IDC, that's where you're gonna learn everything because you're the only medic the Marines have. So you're gonna learn, you know what I'm saying, the whole medication. I'm talking about basically learn to be a nurse practitioner as an IDC. In the hospital, you can learn the little specialties like X-ray and so forth, so on, blah blah blah. But it don't take long. It don't take long, and it don't take long to get the experience. The only thing with me is I should have been working in a hospital, you know what I'm saying, as it stands, period. Nobody ever told me that I could take my knowledge and go work in a hospital. You know what I'm saying? Now mine is outdated.
Yeah, I can understand that. But also, there's something else. Okay, so back to my son. Right now, I make a good career of what I do. The money's great. I make more money now than I did 6 years in the Marine Corps.
True.
Okay. So if I'm a nurse, I want to be a nurse. I could say, okay, I could go to the military, let them pay for it. Or I could go over here to go to college and become a nurse, and where you're making way more money than you is as an E1, E2, E3.
But here's the thing about that is, all right, you take somebody who's been in the military as a nurse, you know what I'm saying, or nurse practitioner, how you want to put it, versus somebody fresh out of college. The only difference is that guy in the military has been doing the job, got the experience behind them the whole nine. Who you think they're hired first?
See, now that's the difference. Yeah, I would still feel like they would hire the college kid first because, like you said earlier, you didn't know you could take your knowledge from here to there.
I didn't.
Okay, that's my point. So, I know for a fact this child here come from the University of Georgia, Mercer University, or whatever they went to school from. I know that school standards. I know that school history. I know that school produce. I don't know exactly what the military produces. I don't know their standards. I don't know their core.
Their standards
But
is for
you know. But as me hiring somebody off the streets, I know what this school here produces.
I guarantee you, hiring off the streets, every hospital knows the standards of every military person that goes through. I guarantee it. Every military personnel that come to them, they know the standards.
Okay.
So, like I said, they've been out there in real time, you know what I'm saying, especially, you know what I'm saying, for IDCs working with the Marines. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to go in the line of fire, pull y'all out, you know what I'm saying, begin triage, minister aid, right there on the battlefield, and get y'all going. You know what I'm saying? So you telling me that somebody who can do all of that would not get hired before somebody who just got a piece of paper?
I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know. Because, honestly, I haven't seen it for experience, but I have heard about it. And that's just anything. That's just only thing that's let me get it right. When you go for a job interview or whatever, when somebody say to the military, what's the first thing they think of? Oh, you out there shooting, you fighting, you killing. Which is wrong.
Which is wrong. It is.
It's wrong, But that's the stigma. That's the standard of what the armed forces, the outlook. So people, first thing they say is, oh yeah, he might have done this, he might have done that, but if he's over there in deployment in a situation, is he going to have PTSD? He or she? Is they going to? Can they transition?
That would be the hard part. Like for somebody who has deployed, they would want to know, can you transition over?
And so a lot of them will be scared to take that chance but go with somebody that they know over here that's haven't had that kind of issue, medically sound, because yes, trauma comes at different forms of life. It could be from childhood trauma that's when you become adult that affects you. It could be military trauma that for the first 6 years of your life, no problem. Then you could go to a car wreck, or you could see something and it triggers everything that you ever had. So that's why I believe it's a little more. I would take the college child before I would take the armed forces to do it.
No. I think I would rather have the experience than the piece of paper. That's just me though. You know what I'm saying? And then too, they also will look at, you know You know what I'm saying? How is this person under fire? You know what I'm saying? When you have a code, you know what I'm saying, and somebody crashing, can you step in there and, you know what I'm saying, save that person's life under pressure? Most people fresh out of college, heck no, they can't do it. But I guarantee you that soldier can. Lived it, done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can see that, but like.
And the bottom line is all about, can that person perform the job and save the life? Don't get me wrong, yes, there's a stigma on us that we crazy because we done been deployed and, you know what I'm saying, we whacked out of our mind. There's a stigma on that. And I don't know why. But, you know, we function just as well as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We might not, you know what I'm saying, celebrate the 4th because of fireworks or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But when push comes to shove, I guarantee you, veterans know their shit and get it done.
And to piggyback off what we were talking about earlier, you know, you put your life on the line on a daily basis in the armed forces, and you make $45,000 a year. When I could be an RN nurse, I could make $100,000 without even touching a foot on the battlefield, without even going through any of that. Besides that, like I told you, I could do this. I was 5, 6 years in, making $48,000, $50,000. Get out, get into heavy equipment for it, making $70,000 to $100,000 easily. And you know, that's the pay need to change. You know, you put your life on the line. You got these celebrities for entertainment purposes making millions for entertainment, but for somebody that's put their life on the line, only make bare minimum of $40,000 to $60,000.
Yeah, that's right. Change. That part needs to change.
That's how you're gonna get people in. That's how you're gonna get somebody into the armed forces if you could change that. It's all about, regardless of what anybody says, at the end of the day, it's about feeding your family, it's about paying your bills, it's about living life, it's about money. So if they could raise that pay up,
they need to. And this is what goes back to politics. Now, don't get me wrong.
So basically, you telling me my life is worthless. I could go out and be an entertainer and make millions.
Yeah, you go out there and be an athlete, entertainer, make buku money. But, you know what I'm saying, you put your life on the line for your country and you get scraps. I mean...
So why would you tell your child to go through something like that when you know they could be set themselves up for better in life?
That is true. That is true. You know? But I was looking at that aspect, trying to get this country, you know what I'm saying, away from...
To get this, to my opinion, not to interfere or harm or make anybody feel less of a person, to get this country back to where it need to be at, I feel like you should take away the blue and the red. Get away with Republicans, get away with Democrats. We all here together. We all say we want the best for the best of this country. Let's come down to it. Let's stop fussing about any little thing, making the problems out of nothing.
Well, I've already said it should be more than a two-party system. It needs to be at least, I would say, a 5 to 6 party system.
But once again, you put more people in it, you still gonna have more problems. You just get away from it. You know, it's not Republicans, it's not Democrats. At the end of the day, it's Americans.
Not that where I agree with. That I agree with. Well, I know you got to get on the road. Yeah, I thank you for being here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? If you like the video and you got questions for Mr. Faison here, you know what I'm saying, don't hesitate to message. I'll shoot him the message and we'll be back to answer any questions that y'all have.
Oh, I will be back.
Veteranbassin, I normally say my line, but I'm not going to, so we'll catch y'all out there on the water.